This video was made possible thanks to our partner, Goat Guns. Listen up, rookie. Welcome to your first unit. I'll be your squad leader, and you're gonna be replacing PFC Johnson as our heavy machine gunner. Don't worry what happened to him, he's fine. I know you enlisted with all those hopes and dreams of spreading freedom and slaying bad guys, but before you can do any of that, I'm gonna need you to fully understand how to operate, clean, and maintain this fundamental machine gun that you see laying before you here today. Good. Now, sit down and prepare to copy important notes on this amazing briefing given by Cappy that'll help familiarize you with the MG3 machine gun. Let's talk about the role of the machine gunner in a light infantry platoon. Today, their job is to move alongside riflemen, and then the heavy machine gun teams fix an enemy in position. They gain fire superiority by talking their machine guns, taking turns firing. This allows the maneuver element to flank the enemy. But none of this modern doctrine would be possible without the German MG42 series of machine guns. Think about it this way. Each time the machine gun team's role has evolved since World War I, the entire doctrine of the war has changed alongside it. The earliest belt-fed machine guns were static positions. They were so effective that entire units dug in and trench warfare was born. Once the Germans invented the MG42 series, it made machine guns light enough to run alongside riflemen. They were no longer static, and we saw the devastating speed of a more maneuverable, heavy armed infantry with the Blitzkrieg doctrine built around this. The MG42 is the dad version of the guns we're going to be examining today. Yes, dad gun means the older generation of a firearm. It's an official term. Look it up in urbandictionary.com. The MG3 is the latest version to come from the MG42, which is the infamous portable machine gun that started it all. This weapon was so well made that to this very day, the modern German armed forces are still using basically the same flippin' machine gun that they used all the way back in World War II. Many military historians argue that the Messerschmitt 42 was the best general-purpose machine gun ever built. The soldiers were frozen, petrified by merely the sound of the MG42 in World War II. They called it Hitler's buzzsaw. The army actually produced a training film to boost morale about the machine gun's reputation. They have the narrator say, quote, "Don't worry about the MG42's bark, it's worse than its bite." I would love to meet the guy who wrote that line from the safety of his typewriter. Before the MG42 and the MG3, you basically had the MG08, which was 151 pounds. That's one more pound heavier than I weighed when I was a skinny emo kid listening to Taking Back Sunday in high school. The story of the MG3 and its lineage of these weapons is fascinating to me because it's so intertwined with some of the biggest events in world history. At the end of World War II, the Soviet army went all around on a five-finger discount looting spree throughout Berlin. During their pillaging, they captured the original factory blueprints for the MG42, their arch nemesis that had plagued them so much during World War II. When the new NATO German army was trying to rebuild after World War II, their manufacturer Rheinmetall had to reverse engineer their old machine guns from scratch so that they could create the MG3 from those old plans. It's true, new and improved MG3 that's in service with the German armed forces only has a few tweaks and improvements from the original World War II design. For instance, after World War II, the MG42 was rechambered away from the smaller 7.92mm into the NATO 7.62mm version, and then they upgraded the weapon by making it 2 pounds lighter. They retooled the insides of the gun, giving it a chrome-lined barrel, heavier bolt, new era 7.92mm. But the fact that its mechanics remain largely unchanged over the past 70 years shows how well engineered this weapon system was in the first place. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The major military powers that aren't using the MG3 are using weapons that borrow heavily from its design. That's how influential this gun has been. Just because the MG3 is one of the old reliables doesn't mean that it's without flaws. One of the major drawbacks is its length, 48 inches, which is about twice the size of modern machine guns in the same category. By today's standard, it's extremely unwieldy. You look like you brought a broadsword to a knife fight. So why is the German army still using the MG3, an ancient weapon from 1959 that hasn't changed all that much since the 1940s? The answer has to do with how difficult and expensive it is to produce the upgraded replacement, which is called the H&K MG5. Now, at least that kind of overhaul can't be done on a tight budget. Back in June 2013, they announced that Germany was testing 65 samples of the MG5 and they planned to buy up to 12,000 of these new machine guns. Now, the production delays and cost concerns means that we'll likely continue to see the MG3 in service for many years to come. If you're anything like me, then sometimes the M4 is just too heavy and big to handle. Oh, my arms. So you want to switch to a goat gun, something a little bit smaller. Perfect. This is something I could actually handle now. Oh, don't mind me, just innocently doing the dishes. Hope nobody tries to rob me. Oh, what's that? Bad guy? See, with goat guns, you can have your everyday carry everywhere. Click the link in the description and use our code PURPOSE at checkout for 10% off. This will make a perfect gift for Father's Day, so this way you don't have to get him another Sean Hannity book for the 5th time. You could still get him that too. How am I supposed to clear this tight hallway with this massive gun? You know what I need right now? I need a goat gun. That's what's right for this job. There we go, that's more like it. Now I can clear this hallway properly. Oh, sorry, didn't realize someone was in here. One of my favorite things about these goat guns is that they're modular. You can add different scopes on. They got tiny M203 grenade launchers you can put on here. The buttstock on the slide goes back and forth. That's half the fun of these goat guns, is how customizable they are. Use our code in the description so that Goat Guns knows that we sent you, and I can keep my job for another day. Thank you for watching. Please remember to follow me on Instagram at Cappy Army. Please remember to like the video and subscribe.